up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex, and you're watching the Ragin Ronin review. I got a review for you. Last night I watched Hardcore Henry, and Hardcore Henry is a very interesting film. In fact, it got me interested in this film from the trailer. And the reason why is because it did something actually quite innovative, and that is, it is the very first film to be shot entirely through the first-person perspective. We as the audience will be viewing the film through the title character's eyes. And I thought that was actually a pretty innovative idea, so I entertained it by watching it. Now, before I begin this review, I'll let you know that this film actually was conceptualized through a short version of the same film. It was called Bad Mother Effers, and it was on YouTube. It was a 5-minute film, a 5-minute short film from director Ilya Naishuller. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And it was essentially just a big action sequence that was done, that was shot entirely through a GoPro, and it was awesome. It was absolutely freaking awesome. It was really badass, really well choreographed stunts. And then he started a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, and they raised $250,000. And after that, they got funding, they got distribution from a studio, and then now it made it to the big screen, and I watched it yesterday, and what a big mistake. You know, I gotta tell you that this type of film is meant for YouTube. It's not meant to be a feature-length film, clocking in at 1 hour and 37 minutes, just because it's just too much. It's too much to handle. When I was watching this film, I felt like I was on some really bad drugs. In fact, when I left the theater, I still felt like I was on some really bad drugs. It was just too much to take in. Think about it. You're watching this film, and the title character that you are watching from the perspective of doesn't even speak. He speaks through actions, and this film is absolutely relentless. It doesn't stop, and then it gets to the point where you get really tired. You're tired of seeing him running. You're tired of seeing punching and kicking things. You're tired of seeing him shoot things, and just all you're really watching is things happen. You're watching all these random acts of ultra brutal violence. It is a very violent film. It's action-packed, but there is no story. Even films that have no story still have a story. This film absolutely has no story. You're just watching things happen. There's no sense of characterization at all. You don't even know why he's being chased after. I mean, eventually you learn it, but it's not even good enough reason for you to actually care about the character, because you don't even know what he looks like. You can't identify with him. You don't have a face to put with this character. And if the character that we're watching from the perspective actually looked into the mirror, you will see 2 GoPros strapped to his head, because that's how they filmed it. This film was done entirely through GoPro, and as I was watching the film, I was thinking the budget for this film couldn't be anything more than $1 million, because it just looked and felt cheap. And that's what it was. They raised $250,000. The 2 biggest stars that they have in it is Tim Roth, who really appears for, I think the total screen time he appears on is for a minute, maybe much less. And then there's Charlton Copley, who I'm not even sure why he's in this movie. He also serves as an executive producer on this film, and his character's existence does not make any sense at all, or why he does what he does. And it's just a really weird, bizarre film. Now, like I said before, this film works as a short film on YouTube. It doesn't work as a film on a big screen that has a feature-length running time. It just doesn't, because it's too much. In fact, as I was watching the film, the thought of walking out of the theater actually crossed my mind, and it crossed the minds of several other people, because people actually walked out of the theater. And I fought so hard to look at my phone to check the time, because I was trying to figure out how much of this do I have to endure. So I didn't enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. I thought it was innovative for the first 5 to 10 minutes. I thought that, okay, this is kind of neat. But after the next 10 minutes, I just was thinking, this is starting to get annoying. Now, I'm not someone that gets motion sickness. I can handle watching films like Cloverfield, Blair Witch, Chronicle. Those are some pretty great found footage films. They're not first person perspective films, but they're found footage films. And I thought they're great because they actually have a story, and I felt the intensity, and there was great direction in it. I also don't get dizzy from first person shooters at all. So that type of thing does not bother me. It was just annoying, like for the direction of the film, like where it was going. It made no sense. Like I said, there's no story. We're just watching random acts of violence, and it felt like I was on a very bad drug trip, and I was just waiting for it to be over. And that's all I gotta say in this video. Okay, fine. There was a really cool parkour scene and a really cool car chase, but that's it. Other than that, I'm gonna give it a 1.5 out of 10. A 1.5 out of 10. Half a point for innovation and the having this kind of concept, and 1 point for those scenes, okay, the car chase scene and the parkour scene, but that's about it. All right, 1.5 out of 10. I cannot recommend this at all. Okay, and there you have it. That's all I gotta say in this video. As always, if you enjoyed this review and you want to see more, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube channel, like me on Facebook, The Ragin Nation. Also follow me on Twitter, Ragin Nation. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Peace. 70% drop. That is huge. And when you look at the 2 Fridays, when you compare the first Friday and the second Friday, the first